how your bloodline and where you come from and the generations that you come from, the enemy uses that to curse you, right? The enemy uses things to make you believe that this is just who you are. And one of the things also that's associated with that is culture. The enemy loves culture. I heard that in another teaching, and I don't remember who I heard that from. But thank you so much for this word, because it really touched me. But the enemy loves culture. It's one of his favorite things, because once he programs one generation and that generation starts to believe the lie, then that lie is then passed on to the next generation, and then the next generation, and then it becomes a part of your culture, right? So, I then found out that my bloodline had been, in some point, I don't know where, but I had done a couple of years before I even had this vision. I had done an ancestry just to see where I came from, and found out that, of course, a large part of me has African heritage, right? And it's some people may know and some people would not, but Africa has a lot more spiritual connections and a lot more witchcraft and things that's done out in the open, more so than here in America, right? So my bloodline had been associated with some sort of witchcraft, and or someone had cursed our bloodline at some point. I don't know. But I always wondered why some of these things that had happened to me, if you go back and listen to some of my previous videos about, my experiences with having a teenage pregnancy, with having, just all of the setbacks and the things that have happened to me in my life, right? And meanwhile, God was always there. He was always walking with me. He was always patient with me and kind to me, because that's who God is, right? And in this process, I have learned who the heart of God is, right? Or more of the heart of God. And just learning more about your bloodlines and the generational curses and the altars. These are all terminologies that I can go into in other videos, but the altars that are associated with your bloodline, these are things that I just had no idea, right? And in the word of God says that I can't remember the exact verse right this second, but it speaks on ignorance, right? And we have that old saying as well, that ignorance isn't bliss, because when we're ignorant of things, the enemy plays on that, because we just sit around and we sit there and we're okay, and we